Hello, everyone. My name is Lora Tchekoratova. I am the artistic director of Salon the Virtuosi. And today I'm coming to you from New York. And I'm speaking with the young violinist Julie Svěcená, who is currently in Prague in the Czech Republic, in anticipation of our Czech Serenade concert, which will be streamed on the Violin channel on Monday, November 9th at 7 o'clock Eastern. Hello, Julia.
Hello.
How are you?
Hello, I'm quite well, thank you. How are you?
Welcome to Zoom. I understand this is your first experience on Zoom.
It is, I must admit, it is.
Yes.
But it's exciting.
I know, you must be living on another planet, I think.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yes, the whole world is on Zoom these days, and a lot of concerts and a lot of post-concert conversations and classes taking place here. And we are speaking on Zoom because, of course, for those of you who might be on yet another planet, we are currently in a pandemic, so we cannot be meeting in person too much, and especially international travel is very restricted. But Salon the Virtuosi continues our work, and musicians are still continuing to play. And we're thrilled to have this opportunity to present to our audience musicians from all over the world. This concert focuses on Czech music, and we're going to present a wonderful program. But first, let me introduce our audience a little bit to your background. You are from the Czech Republic. Were you born in Prague?
I was actually born in a city close to Prague, not directly in Prague, but in the city I was born. I spent there mostly 2 days, and then I moved to Prague, basically, with the family. So yes, but since then I live in Prague.
Wonderful. Prague is one of my favorite places on this planet.
Oh, I'm glad to hear.
Musical, beautiful, gorgeous place. I know that the movie Amadeus was filmed in Prague, if you have seen it.
That's right.
Because Prague is very preserved, and it's not does not look so modern like some other cities. So they actually made Prague look like Vienna for that movie, and I really
That's right. That's right.
And you come from a family of musicians. Prague is, of course, a musical city. Tell me a little bit about your family, your parents.
So yes, I come from a musical family. My mom used to be a pianist, and my father is a violinist. So it was all sort of like predicted. They wanted, I have older sister as well, and they wanted her to play some instrument, but she was more into like a maths and, you know, chemistry and this sort of way. She loves music, but she didn't imagine herself like perform or study it like more in depth, you know. So then I was born, and I started to play. I think I was 4.5, and yeah, it was all sort of like predicted that, oh yes, let's try with her as well, you know. And then gradually, of course, I don't remember much from that time period. Of course, you are too little to remember, but as I was growing up, I sort of like fell in love with music, and I was always listening to music, and you know, I was always looking to ways to express something through the music. So yeah, it gradually became like a huge hobby for me. And of course, there are times that you are thinking when you are a teenager, like, oh, will I actually continue doing that when I'm adult or not? But you sort of keep going because you just love the music so much. And then the time passes and you're like, okay, I'm doing it, you know? So
yeah.
So yeah, it was all the great background behind me, like with all the musicians. And I had a great teacher since the beginning who gave me like great basics and stuff. And when I grew up, when I changed the teachers, I always had like a great support from them, and so it inspired you to do more, you know?
Yeah, and being in the right environment also helps. It sounds like it was a natural thing for you, being, playing the instrument and then gradually getting more serious and turning it from a hobby to something that is your profession now.
Yes.
After Prague, you spent some time in London. Can you tell me a little bit about your studies in London?
Absolutely. Yes, I was studying in London at the Royal Academy of Music since 2015 to 2018. I finished 2 years ago, but I was there even like longer before. I studied with an incredible teacher, Mr. Rodney Friend, and yeah, it was an amazing time, and I was extremely lucky with my teacher and the school I was at, and with all the faculty, all the friends, my colleagues, and yeah, it was a great time. And the opportunities that I had there with different projects, chamber music, everything, it was great. So yeah, amazing time.
Yeah, and London is also a great place for music.
Absolutely.
Have you been to the United States yet?
I have. Last time I was in New York, actually, for 4 years ago. Yes, 2016. 2016. It was. I loved it. I have a couple of friends there, and I stayed with them, and it was great. It was wonderful. I had the opportunity to play at the National Bohemian Hall.
Yes.
So.
Great.
So it was a great hall, absolutely amazing. So yeah, it was a great time as well. Yeah.
Yes, the National Bohemian Hall is really special. It's a historic building, and it's been transformed into a cultural center by the Czech government. Yes. And that's where we have our events usually. And that's where actually the other artist, Sterling Elliott, is going to record his portion of the program, because he happens to be here in New York. So we do have the Bohemian National Hall in the background of this concert.
Wonderful.
Yes, but for those of you listening who don't know this place and who may not have been there for concerts, it's actually a great place to experience not only Czech culture, but world culture. They have literary festivals, they have a movie theater, they have the Dvorak Association, they have a space there, a Dvorak Museum. So after COVID is done, we would love to again host an event there, but I want to encourage our audience to take an online tour of the space and also to visit in person if they haven't yet. There's also a Czech restaurant there, which is
I wanted to mention that actually.
Yeah.
Yes. It's wonderful. And for the adult listeners, they have a great Czech beer there as well.
Yeah.
So
yeah, you can't go wrong with Czech beer. Yeah, it's one of the best things. All right. Well, tell us a little about your program. We mentioned Dvorak. Dvorak is, of course, a big part of New York history because he lived here. He moved here with his family. He was influenced by African-American music, Native American music, but also Czech music. So he's really one of those great guys who took inspiration by different cultures and made it into a Western official music.
Yes, no, absolutely. So the first piece, which we recorded with all the pieces we recorded with my lovely pianist, Lucie, and we love all these pieces. The first piece will be Sonatina in G major by Antonín Dvořák. And it was composed, I think, in 1893 when he was in New York, the director of the National Conservatory of Music there. And yes, it was, I think he was there during the time, the director from 1892 to 1895. And during this period of time, he of course composed the most incredible music. It was sort of like a peak of his composing career, I would say, but all of his works are amazing. Yeah. So the time period for this piece is, I think he started writing it on 19th of November. He finished on 3rd of December. And not even 2 weeks afterwards, there was a huge premiere of the New World Symphony in Carnegie Hall. So that's a great, like, it was just a great time for him, I believe. So yeah, it has a great connection with this piece as well. And because Sonatina is his opus number 100, he decided to dedicate this piece to his children. So his daughter Ottilie, who was, I think, 15 at that time, and she was a very gifted pianist, and his son Antonin, and they both played this piece in a private premiere in New York, actually, on December 1893. So it's great to hear all those stories, and it doesn't end there, because the connection with Dvorak goes also to the second composer we will present, and that's Josef Suk, which is another great composer of ours. And Dvorak was actually his father-in-law, because Suk married Dvorak's daughter Ottilie. And Ottilie was a huge inspiration for him to write the music we will play the beautiful solo from. So it's a solo from his orchestral suite, Fairy Tale, which was originally drawn from his incidental music for a stage play, dramatic poem Radost and Mahulena, which was written by Czech novelist Julius Zeyer. And it's a beautiful, beautiful music. You will hear it's so romantic and dreamy. And this solo particularly, it's just for me, for example, it's so beautiful to play. Like, I always find something new in that music. It's very special to me. And so there is this great connection as well. And we actually wanted to compose this program like with these connections, because it's great. It's almost like one period of time, of that time, and all these great works were written then. So yes, it's wonderful. And then Dvorak was actually connected a little bit to our third composer as well, which is one of our another greats, Bedřich Smetana, of course. And we will be playing a two-movement piece, which is called From the Homeland, a lovely piece, which was written in 1880. And that was actually the last phase of composition for Smetana. He died in 1884, I think. And what is incredible, and I always think about it as like, wow, it's amazing, because he suffered from like serious health conditions already, and he lost his hearing additionally to that. So he was completely deaf, and he couldn't hear anything, and he wrote the most incredible music. Also, not long before he finished the set of symphonic poems Mein Country, the most incredible piece. So it was it's a great piece as well. It's like a mixture of happiness and melancholy, because of course he always wanted to show in his pieces love for his home country, you know. So also in Dvorak's music, actually, because they always love going to the base of their origin, you know.
Yeah.
So and connection with Dvorak is that they actually knew each other, and Dvorak was playing the viola in orchestra, which Smetana was conducting. So and then Dvorak was actually playing in a private premiere of Smetana's quartet From My Life. So there, everything is sort of connected. It's great. And,
oh my goodness! It sounds like you will be taking us on a journey in time, and a journey also to your country and also to New York. So it's really special. And thank you so much for sharing all these details about the program. I'm very much looking forward to hearing it. And I would like to remind our audience that the Salon de Virtuosi just had our opening night gala in October. We featured artists from all over the world. Again, some of them appeared remotely from Japan and from Barcelona and from Chicago and from Paris. And now we're taking you on a trip to the Czech Republic. And you will be appearing from Prague. You recorded a program for us, especially for us. And I'm really grateful that we could work this out.
Me too.
So yeah, I mean, I think that it's important for people to remember that artists are really going through very hard times now during this pandemic, and we want to continue working. And the fact that we are able to do these recordings and these Zoom meetings and to connect with our audiences is very important. So we're very grateful for that. And we want to wish you all the best. It's going to be difficult. Everybody says difficult few months. Do you have other interesting projects to keep you on your toes, to keep you practicing and performing?
Absolutely. I mean, it's a difficult, as you said, it's a difficult time for everybody, and everybody deals with it differently. But of course, everybody has a huge respect with this situation, because you just never know what is going to happen. And what I realize, and many people realize, that what we do, we are very privileged to just, like, you know, before we could just go to another country to play for people, you know, very easily fly somewhere, fly back the second day, you know, everything was sort of almost automatic for us. And suddenly it can be cut, like, immediately almost. So it's of course very difficult for everybody. But I think that there is also it's hard to say like that, like a good side of it.
Silver lining, we say here, maybe.
Yes. And
silver lining, yeah.
And sort of you can use this time, I personally, like, for some, like, self-development or more self-education in music. Yeah, I love to, you know, I either work on my music or pieces that I haven't played in a long time, or sight read some pieces, you know. It's the possibilities are endless. And or you can also just, like, relax, because there's nothing worse than sort of like stressing out all the time about, oh my gosh, what is going to happen. Of course it is very hard, because people are losing their jobs, or, you know, it's really hard. But the more you are stressing out, it will not help anything, and you are suffering, right? So yeah, so it's also a great time to just, like, sort of, like, relax and just, like, maybe do nothing for some time, you know, or just, like, do some other things from, like, other hobbies, you know. And but it's a great opportunity to educate yourself more on the music, or what you like to do, you know. So there is of course there are pros and cons in every situation. So that's that, and hopefully everything will get better soon, but because nobody knows how it will look like in month or two, you know. And we cannot say that, oh yeah, it will last until the end of next month, and then everything will be back in normal as it was before. But that's not the case. You just never know, right? So
so we have to keep patience and to keep ourselves busy and improving. That's very inspirational. From you, coming from such a young person. Thank you so much for sharing these thoughts. And before we go, I would like to invite our audience one more time to tune in on the Violin channel on November 9 at 7 p.m. Eastern. This will be quite late in Prague. However, audiences in Europe can still watch the concert in the morning and forever. We're just going to leave it on YouTube and on the Violin channel. So follow our website, Salon de Virtuosi, and we wish you all wonderful winter, and take it easy, hang in there. We'll all get through this, the whole world. And with music has a healing power. It's very special, and it will keep us going. And let's keep our artists working. That's very important too.
Absolutely. All right. I would like to say also thank you so much, Lora, and many thanks to you and Salon de Virtuosi for inviting me, for having us. It was a pleasure, absolute pleasure, to record these fun pieces and to talk to you today. And hopefully you will, and whoever will listen to our concerts, we hope that they will enjoy it. And stay safe, take care, and hopefully we will meet in person in better times in future.
Yes. Cheers to that.
Here's to that.
Yes. And we'll see you again, hopefully in person, as you said, as soon as this pandemic is over. Bye. Bye, everyone.
Bye. Thank you, Laura. Bye.